Hi guys, my name's Mualesandro and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is about products that I kind of forgot about in my collection and have recently been obsessed with and have used them non-stop and are probably gonna become my holy grails. These are all basically products that I got, kind of really didn't give a chance, left them to just sit in my collection for months, and I've recently just been falling in love with them. Let's just get into this video because I have a cute amount of products that I want to talk about. So let's start off with primers. I have this Marc Jacobs undercover blurring primer. I really like this primer. It's like a silicone-y type of primer. I find that it doesn't clog my pores like a lot of silicone primer does. Really does blur out my face, and my foundation applies beautiful on top of this primer. So yeah, I've been using it a lot lately in my past looks, and I'm gonna continue using it and get some use out of this. Next we have this Becca anti-fatigue under eye primer. So this is one of the first products that I got in my makeup collection that I really just out of nowhere stopped using, and I don't know why I stopped using it, because this under eye primer really helps with creasing. Now, I don't have fine lines, but when I smile or make facial expressions, I'll have tiny little lines under my eyes that causes my concealer to crease. It'll crease no matter what. It'll crease if I use a little bit of powder. It'll crease if I use a lot of powder. It'll crease if I bake. I personally don't like using a lot of powder or baking at all under my eyes because I just find that it cakes up a lot, makes me look older, and just changes the finish of the concealer. But this under eye primer really helps with the creasing. My under eyes, when I use this, really don't crease at all, and the little tiny bit that they do, I can just pat it out and my under eyes will be back to normal. I use little to no powder when I use this under my eyes, and yeah, I'll probably never stop using this again because it really helps with my under eyes. And my under eyes are the hardest for me. It's what I struggle the most. Whenever I take off my makeup mid-beat, it's because I've messed up on my under eyes. And this just really helps my concealer blend out really pretty and just sit on my skin well throughout the day. So next we have this MAC Fix Plus in their matte version. The reason why I'm talking about this setting spray right after primer is because I like to set my primer with this MAC Matte Fix Plus to kind of create a barrier for my skin and to really help prevent oils in the beginning rather than in the end when I'm setting my makeup. Actually, it has powder in it, so you have to shake it up every single time before, because you'll find at the bottom it'll be white and it'll be clear at the top. So yeah, I really like this because it really helps my makeup last longer. I personally like going in with dewier products, even though I'm pretty oily on my T-zone. I just find that matte products don't sit right on my skin. They kind of just emphasize my texture, and I prefer the healthy, juicy skin look. Okay, next we have foundation, and I have this Dior Forever Skin Glow. Now, this foundation, when I got it, I literally just let it sit in my makeup collection for 2 months without using it. I don't know why. I think it's because I got it throughout a time where I was using more matte products, and I was kind of just sticking to that. But honestly, dewy products are the way to go. They make your skin look healthy and juicy, and even me with oily skin, this foundation sits really nice on my skin, lasts a long time. I just gotta be, going in with my blotting wipes to blot off the excess oil, and it'll go back to fresh as it was in the beginning. This just has such a beautiful finish. Makes your skin look like healthy, good skin. It has pretty good coverage for being a dewy foundation, and it's very buildable. You could get this foundation to a medium to full coverage. Dior has pretty good complexion products. This is one of my favorite from them. Okay, next I have this YSL Touche Claw. Now, I got this and I used it a couple times and just like never used it because I really didn't find the point for it. Like a lot of people on YouTube have expressed how this has like little to no coverage and is kind of pointless, but it has a purpose. I use this, I mean, like what it said is for, it's a brightening pen. I use this right after my foundation. I apply it on my cheekbones and it really gives me that pop, brings my cheekbones out. And then after I do like my cream bronzer and contour, I'll basically go in and bake with this. I don't like going in with powder, so this really does the job for me with snatching my face up and cleaning up that cream bronzer and contour. This, it's really good on the skin. It doesn't cake up or give like an extra layer of makeup type of look. It just blends in with your foundation beautifully. Okay, now let's move on to concealer. I have this Cover FX Power Play Concealer. This is everything that Shape Tape wishes it could be. This concealer has pretty good coverage. It's like medium to full right off the bat, and you could build it up to a full coverage. And it has a very natural skin-like finish with a little bit of a glow. This concealer, I really don't have to set it with powder. I'll go in with a small brush. Let me show you guys real quick. I'll go in with a small little fluffy setting brush and just pat like the tiniest amount of powder, and that is it. So yeah, this requires a little to no powder with pretty full coverage and just a really good finish. Also lasts pretty much all day, and Cover FX shade range are amazing. They cover pretty much every skin tone from light to dark and every undertone. They have so much to choose from, and honestly Cover FX is pretty underrated. Y'all should give it a try, especially this concealer. Next we have setting powder. This is the Cover FX Perfect Setting Powder. After I got this, I used this a bit and then kind of stopped. I kind of just was experimenting with other powders, but recently I've been gravitating towards this powder because it's a pretty solid powder. You could set your T-zone, your whole face, your under eyes, and it just melts into your concealer and your foundation. You don't need a lot. You won't be disappointed in this. If you want to use it to bake, it's a really good baking powder. It won't cake up. Now that I've been really into that Cover FX concealer, I've been really into setting my under eyes and whole face with this, so I definitely recommend. Next I have this highlight. It's the Marc Jacobs Spotlight Glow Stick. Now this highlight is so beautiful. I don't know why I ignored it for so long in my makeup collection. I think it's because when I got it, it's when I was really into that like no makeup, and when I mean no makeup, I mean like undetectable makeup. And I found that this was a little bit too much for me, when in reality it is not too much. This is like the most buildable highlighter ever. You could get a pretty just glow from within if you apply a little, or if you go in with more, you could get a pop-in blinding highlight. This applies really good on no makeup days. I'll just literally put a little bit on my finger and pat into my skin when I go into work. And this also applies bomb on full glams. This applies good when you're just using like cream products, and it also applies really well on top of powder, on top of like a whole set base after you use like powder, bronzer, blush. It just looks great on the skin. Once you apply it, if you're a little bit on the cakier side, it'll just kind of like melt into the makeup and give you a more skin-like effect. Let's move on to brows. This is the ABH Granite Brow Powder Duo. I don't know why I like literally let this sit in my collection for years without using it. I think it's because I was really into just using the brow pomade. However, I personally like this more than the brow pomade. Being a little bit oily, I find that going in with a brow powder works really good on my skin. Also, this is easier to work with than the brow pomade, and this makes your eyebrows look just so natural and bushy, whereas the brow pomade makes them look more drawn on, and you kind of have to work with it a little more to give you that natural bushy effect. You have two shades, a darker shade and a lighter shade. I personally go in with the lighter shade like on the front of my eyebrows, and on the end of my eyebrows I go in with the darker shade to really define my tip. I probably will not stop using this ever again. Okay, last but not least, I have this brow gel. It's the Tarte Busy Gal Brows. I got this brow gel and literally never used it, like ever, and I don't know why. Recently, like 2 weeks ago, I was doing a little bit of a declutter of my collection, and I was gonna get rid of this, but then I was like, let me try it real quick. Let me give it a try. And I fell in love. I don't know why I literally never used it. First of all, look at this. Look at how thin this applicator is. It is thin. And when you take it out, there's no excess product. So you really won't mess up with this. This is the easiest to apply, and it really does make a difference with your brows. So yeah, I'm definitely using this way more because it is so easy to apply and it fills in your brows pretty nice. You won't get that like muddy look, and since the applicator is so thin, you can really go in and fill in the spots that you want. So yeah, that concludes this video. I had fun just sitting down and talking about these new faves that I had forgotten about. I hope you guys like this video and maybe grab one of these products because they're honestly quite bomb. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.